that the Council of Elders has met after the death of the former chairman of the council, the late Mr. Opio Otondi, who we lost and buried in March. Today, the elders basically were brainstorming on how to strengthen the movement and how eventually to elect a replacement for Mr. Otondi. They have resolved that on the 10th of next month, they are going to go to pay their final respects to the departed in accordance with the traditions and rights of the Luo people, after which they will now be free to fill that position of the Kir. Kir is a very important institution in Luo society. He was the titular leader of the community in matters of culture, in matters of traditions, and so on, which is very important in our society. We have a diversity of cultures in our country, and we always say that our richness as a country is the diversity of cultures that we have. That is what makes the total Kenyan community. So it is important for us to strengthen the cultural heritage that we have and teach our children some of the traditions. Culture is not static. It's dynamic. It moves as society develops. Some old practices are discarded. New ones are adopted by the society. It's important that the children be properly instructed so that they understand their cultures. So we have shared views on these issues, and they have agreed that they will meet after their final respect to the Kir later next month, and that's going to be a general assembly, what they call the Vipinje, which will bring people from all sub-counties of Luo land. And that's going to be a general assembly where a lot of matters will be canvassed, discussed, and resolutions passed. So I'm very happy to have been party to this meeting today. I have said that this is the first meeting of the Luo Council of Elders to take place following the death of the late Kir, Mr. Opio Otondi. They have resolved here today that in accordance with the Luo traditions, they will pay their final respects to Mr. Otondi on the 10th of next month, after which they will now be free to fill that position later on next month. So the elders here talk very freely. They generally talk about matters tradition. This institution is very old. The first Kir in the modern times was the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. There have been several other Kirs who have come in between. It is an institution that is very respected in our society, and it is not something that is taken lightly. That's why sometimes people get very surprised when media give prominence to pretenders to the throne. This is an institution, and you have got representatives from all the Luo sub-clans and communities represented in this institution. They deal with the issues like marriage, systems in our society. They deal with issues of death and burial, what are the rights and traditions. And they also deal with modern other issues of life generally. How should our people adapt modern ways of life? How do you deal with issues like domestic violence that is causing lives to so many people? How do you deal with issues of inheritance, where widows sometimes get deprived of the wealth of their husbands after their death? How do we create a common system that will ensure that our society is not eventually eroded by invasion of some foreign cultures that basically end up giving people who are completely illiterate culturally and who sometimes become very violent in society. How do we deal with violence in our society? And how do we deal with the issue of succession in our society? How do we modernize the ways of life in terms of productivity, in terms of land and shelter? How do we address this issue? I see that the present government is trying to deal with the issue of shelter, but they're going about it the wrong way. If they sought advice from people like us, we would actually advise them how to deal with it. But that is a subject for another day. Today, I just wanted to confine myself to issues of the Luo culture and leadership of the Luo community in that regard. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Kelly is here.